but I had to put my savings first. So it was save before I did anything else. So I save for retirement before I do anything else. I save for my goals before I do anything else. I'm constantly building my emergency fund that it has more than that, the required 3 to 6 months. I'm working on having a year in my emergency account. Hi, and welcome to Beyond the Paycheck. I'm Paula Christine. So last week we had Skylar Fleming on here, and he gave us some tips that him and his wife use for managing their finances. And I thought, you know what? I think I'm going to dive in just a little bit deeper into that conversation. So we're going to talk about some fun and practical tips that you can help you master your budget and make your money start working for you. So you grab your coffee, sit back, and let's get started. Now, first, let's talk about tracking every single penny. Skylar talked about that and how important it is. And that was one of the first things that helped him with money was to start tracking every penny. Now, I know it sounds horrible to do that, but trust me, it works wonders. When I start writing down or you can use an app. I don't use an app. I'm old fashioned, but there are apps out there that you can start to record your expenses. You'll be amazed at where your money goes. It's like a financial diary that reveals your spending habits. And the best part is that you can identify those sneaky expenses that add up over time. I mentioned in last week's podcast that I had moved and I had bought the house. Everybody knows that who's a listener. And, I've been spending money like crazy and everything costs money. And when I think something like, okay, so here goes. I had some cement poured and I don't know what the heck I was thinking. But once the cement was poured and they came in and they dug it all up and poured the cement, my yard was trashed. And I didn't realize I was going to then have to either fix it myself or hire a landscaper. Well, I can't fix it myself because I don't know how to grade the dirt and, do all the things that need to be done. And one, it's just me. And getting people to help has been very, very difficult during this moving process. So an added expense that came onto this was hiring a landscaper. So I finally did get some quotes and they're going to get started in a couple of weeks. So between now and a couple of weeks, I live with mud, but it's at least taken care of. So I had to go back into my budget and figure out where this extra money to cover this landscaper was going to come back. I have money in savings. Yes, that's, I have my emergency account and I have money earmarked for house expenses that I was anticipating. And this was something I wasn't anticipating. Not that I didn't realize I didn't have to do landscaping, but not to the extent that I have to do landscaping. So I had to figure out what I was going to cut back and where, what I was going to delay, that I'm likely not going to do something this year and push it off to next year so that I could cover that expense. I really sat down and looked at my expenses and was like, because I haven't been tracking, which is probably why I've spent so much money, is I was really shocked and glad it's only me because it was a little embarrassing because I know I talk about money all the time, but yet I let that happen to me on this experience. And I also let it happen to me last year when I overspent with groceries and dining out, which led me to make a free webinar called Budget for Groceries. So go check that out on the website, paulachristine.com. Anyway, if I would have kept track of those expenses, there might have been some things that I bought that I didn't need to buy that could have been bought later down the road, so that I would kept into my budget. But anyway, it's really cool to track your expenses and it's a great way to find out where your money's going. So tip number 2 is setting clear financial goals. So imagine your money as a road trip and you need a destination. So what are you saving for? A dream vacation, paying off debt, maybe building an emergency account. So you need to have those clear goals in your budget and you need to understand the purpose of them. And you really have to have some meaning and some passion behind those goals or they're just never going to happen. So you all know, again, we'll go back to the house, was one of my goals was after I got divorced, which I really didn't think was going to happen. I've always wanted to own a lake house, and I didn't really think it was going to happen because I got divorced, and I didn't think I was going to be able to do it on my own. And my mindset was not right at the time. And anyway, I sat down, I put it on my vision board. I put exactly what I wanted to pay for it, kind of what I wanted to look like, even though it doesn't look like that. But you get the gist. And it happened every day. I'd look at that picture and I would manifest every morning about having this home, and I do have it. But I also put it into my budget to put so much away every month towards buying a home. And now I'm going on a vacation later this year with some friends. We got a real inexpensive, like $600 cruise through Norwegian Cruise Line. So we're going to take that. And so now I'm saving money to cover the cost of the cruise, the excursions and the airfare, so that I have the money when it's time to pay for that. So it's great to have a purpose for your goals, and then to put those in your budget. And it's really exciting when you have those goals, you dream about them, and then you put them into your budget, and then they happen, and you're like, hey, man, this is really freaking cool. I mean, I just accomplished something that makes me really happy, and gives me joy and passion. And, it's pretty cool to be living out those dreams. Now, Skylar mentioned this last week, and I think I'm going to seriously think about this when we talk about that in the budgeting for groceries. But as a single person, I really don't think about meal planning, but I think I'm going to start doing that. And the first thing that I'm going to start doing with meal planning is emptying out my freezer. And we talked about that too. Like, I think I have a good probably 30 to 45 days worth of food in my freezer. Because, if I cook a steak, I can, eat half of it. Or if I cook a piece of chicken, I eat half of it. And so it gives me 2 meals. But I probably would not have to go grocery shopping less, for eggs and cheese, that kind of stuff, for probably, well, I don't know. I'll let you know. But meal planning is important, and using the stuff that's in your freezer and your cabinets in your pantry before you go out and spend. I know when I was raising 5 kids, my ex-husband and I would go grocery shopping. We'd come home and we, bought pasta, and then we look in there, we already have pasta. So it's important to kind of look to see what you have in your pantry and use it first before you go out and purchase. So it's important to be doing some weekly meal planning and then making a shopping list so that you avoid buying something that you already had or last minute takeout, and use the stuff that you already have in your refrigerator. Next thing that I think is important to talk about is automating your savings account and start taking advantage of time and compounding. I talk about this in the budget tracker that I'll talk to you about at the end, which is a new course that we just launched, just a couple weeks ago. Anyway, it talks about helping you build your budget and the importance of automating your savings. And Tyler talked about this a little bit too, and he mentioned the fact that how good him and his wife feel when they start to see that their money is growing and they're taking advantage of time and compounding. And that's really cool for me. I mean, watching my house, the savings for my house get to where that I could actually do it and start looking. I mean, that was so thrilling and so exciting for me to say, okay, it's time. I'm ready to do this. But I had to put my savings first. So it was save before I did anything else. So I save for retirement before I do anything else. I save for my goals before I do anything else. I'm constantly building my emergency fund that it has more than that, the required 3 to 6 months. I'm working on having a year in my emergency account, just because it's just going to give me that peace of mind. And because I'm now a homeowner, I want to have extra cash in case something happens. So setting your savings, if you can make it automated, that's great. You can set it and forget it. It's a great strategy, so it's happening even when you're not even thinking about it. Also, make sure you're taking advantage of freebies and discounts, like using cash back apps and reward programs to get something back on your purchases. It's like getting paid to shop. Again, because I've been spending so much money on this new house that my credit card points are high enough that when I take that cruise and later this year with my friends, I'm not going to have to pay for my airfare. Cha-ching. I mean, because there's so many opportunities to use your credit card to pay for everything, as long as you can pay it off at the end of the month and to earn those points and use those for vacations. And if you're not a vacation person, then you can do cash back. There's a lot of different things. Why wouldn't you want to take advantage of that and use it? That's going to give you something else. It's a great shopping tool. So lastly, make it a habit to review your budget regularly, make any changes that need to be done. So before we go, I want to talk to you about the budget tracking course that I had mentioned. It's designed to help you manage your money and achieve your financial goals. So for a limited time, go into the show notes. You will get the link that the course is usually $57, but I'm offering it today for $27. Now it is a limited offer. So hop on and take advantage of that today. I don't know, I think there's about 9 or 10 different modules in there that should help you, first of all, figure out how much you're spending, how to budget it. We talk about different budgeting strategies, the importance of setting goals, all the things that you need to do and tracking, everything that you need within this course. So again, it's normally $57, but for you guys today, it's on sale for $27. So take advantage of that discount. So I'm going to let you go, and I hope you have enjoyed the conversation today. And just remember, it's not about how much money you earn. It's how you make your money work for you. So until next time, keep living beyond your paycheck. Take care.